Welcome down to the Malted Man Cave. I'm your host, Keith. Tonight, I'm going to be reviewing an amazing whiskey from one of the best independent bottlers out there at the moment. All right, so as I said, tonight I'm going to be reviewing an amazing bottling from an independent bottler. For those of you who don't know, Adelphi Distillery Limited is one of the best independent bottlers out there. There's many amazing independent bottlers out there, but this is one to look out. They're kind of known for just the cask selection that they use are just incredible, especially their sherry cask. Some of the, I wish I would have done the review when there was more, but this is only a 12-year, and look how dark that is. Now, color doesn't always mean anything, but sometimes when you're using a good sherry cask and there's no color added, sometimes it can be indicative of just how much sherry goodness, the whiskey has soaked up from the cask. So, gotta give a shout out to Travis Faircloth, also known as Carolina Caviar, on Instagram. He has sent me samples. He's, obviously shown me pictures. He sent me, sites. He's like, hey, you can go get this Kalila 13 that's hardcore sherry bomb, or this Kleinleach 23, or da-da-da-da-da. And it's something that I've been wanting to get into for a while. And I got to give another shout out to Jay Chung, who is an awesome subscriber and viewer of the channel, and he's also a Patreon. And we've, back and forth sent each other different samples and different packages were arranged to give them to each other. But he sent me this Adelphi 23-year Kleinleach that was literally to die for. I probably would have given it a 94 or 95. And it was just one of the most rich flavor bomb experiences that I've ever had. I'm not going to say it's the best whiskey I've ever had, but it was definitely like a top 10, top 15, top 20 of all time. It was that good. So I've been wanting to get my hand on one of my own bottles. So Travis, again, I think hooked me up with a website. He's like, dude, you got to snatch it up and snatch it fast. I think me and Mark Broda from Scotch for Dummies were kind of competing to get it, because these things, when they come out, they go very quickly. So, without further ado, I am reviewing Adelphi's Laudale Speyside, being an American, not knowing how to pronounce. Haven't done my homework quite much on this one, but Adelphi's Laudale Speyside. It's a 12-year, distilled at Dailuaine. Batch release is number 3. So I think, the last couple of years they've been releasing different batches of the Speyside. And basically what it is, they pick a distillery from Speyside and they just put it in an amazing sherry cask and just a hardcore first fill sherry bomb cask, and just let it sit for 12 years or so. So this is, I believe, the third, yes, batch 3, as I said, one of 1,420 bottles, non-colored, non-chill filtered at 46% ABV. That's the only thing. Typically, with the Adelphis, they are cask strength. So this is one of the few ones at 46%. So that was a little disappointing for my first experience that it was only 46, but it's still an amazing whiskey. So Adelphi was actually a distillery back in the day. They weren't always just an independent bottler. I think it was in 1826 or around there. They were founded in Glasgow, just a normal, whiskey Scotch distillery. And I think, unfortunately, like many distilleries in the early 1900s, they went under, I think, in 1907. But then I think in 1993, they were revived as an independent bottler. And I, for one, am very happy. Without ruining the review too much, they just make such great whiskey. This is actually not actually the best, nowhere near any of the best that I've had, but it's still a great 12-year-old at only 46%. So, without further ado, let's get into some whiskey. Ooh. Maybe I could have shared with Dave. I thought I was only going to be able to do a single. Hopefully he doesn't watch this review and see. All right, let's get into the sherry bomb. On the nose. It's, I think, more Adelphi Abuna type sherry, like where it's more spicy. Now there's more age to this, I think, than the current Adelphi Abunas. The old ones were delicious, but the newer ones are just, they're so young, and the sherry casks I don't think are quite as good as they used to be. But I don't say that in a bad way. It's just there's different type of sherries. Like some Glendronach, it's just way more chocolatey, and there's chocolate in here too. But like some sherry casks, they're more like spicy, more nutty, more anise, more, I don't know, waxy oranges. Definitely blood oranges, allspice, anise, cinnamon, a little bit of dark chocolate, but really the spicy cinnamon notes and allspice and tangy oranges and maybe a little praline pecans, so like that kind of confectionery sugar that you get. Now I will say I've been kind of under the weather a little bit, so my nose, I'm not smelling things as well as I normally do, so I may not do justice to this whiskey, and I didn't get notes for this, unfortunately, but I still want to get this review out. There's an herbaceous note, and I don't know, it's very herbal. I'll just leave it at that. A really, really good 12-year-old whiskey. Very, very good 12-year-old whiskey. All right, into the palate. Again, immediately it's that spicy anise, allspice, cinnamon red hots. A really, really good orange note comes in with a little bit of chocolate, but it's more praline, confectionery, sugary with the pecans than it is like Glendronach milk chocolate or dark chocolate. Even though it's so dark, look how dark that is for a 12-year-old at only 46% ABV. Again, the herbal really comes through. Almost, not parsley. It's almost like a little cucumber, and then parsley, and then anise, and then allspice. Man, that's good. I wish I wasn't under the weather so I'd do a little bit. I think I got a lot more notes before. I know you're like, well, Keith, why are you reviewing this? I had to get it out, guys. The show had to go on. The show had to go on. And I didn't review something last week, so it was time. Sorry. On the nose, there was, real quick, I caught this delicious mapley syrup sweetness. There's a little cucumber, like cucumber water. Chocolate oranges, a really good toasted oak note, and almost like a meatiness. Some kind of meatiness. I don't even know how to describe it. There's some, Dailuaine seemed to have, it has a little bit of a, you know, the kind of thing you get with Mortlock or Craigellachie. It's got something meaty to it. I don't even know how to describe it. There's something meaty in there. Like truffle oil / pork chop almost. I don't even know it, but something like that, to that effect. It is not super complex, but what it does very, very well. A really, really good 12-year-old at only 46%. The sherry casks used in this are good. They're not quite as good as some of the other Adelphis that I've had, you know, the older ones. It's really not fair to compete, and they're at cask strength. But guys, I would not hesitate to pick this up. I would love to try all the other, you know, Adelphi Laudale Speysides. At the price I got for this, I would buy this all day, every day. The finish is one of the actual really exceptional things about this. It stays for a while. I think it's that spicy kick, that herbaceous anise, red hots with that meatiness. It definitely lasts for a long, I'd say medium to long. Leaning more on the long, actually. And that 46%, that's pretty good compared to not being a cask strength whiskey. It lasts for days, and it's kind of maple syrup into, you know, waxy oranges, chocolate oranges, praline pecans, that confectionery sugar. A very, very good whiskey. Travis, thank you so much for letting me know about Adelphi. They are amazing. I appreciate you opening my eyes to them. I'm going to give this a 88 to 80, 88.5, almost an 89. It's really good. 88.5, I'm going to go with this for the Adelphi Laudale Speyside from Dailuaine. Excellent stuff. I would always have this on the bar if I could. I'd love to get to try the other ones. I'm not sure where the other ones, like what distilleries are from. If I can, I'll put them right there, the other batches. But without further ado, I thank you guys for watching. This is going to be just a little quick hitter. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and remember, Scotch is king.